you know, I have performed and I have deserved whatever I have earned.
You are very similar to what we call the American President, Barack Obama, who was born in Hawaii, and you were born in Hawaii too. And obviously he had a big issue about his citizenship and to run for politics, and yourself too. Will there be a day where you will be running for the Prime Minister position of the country with DAP?
If you ask me, it's not something that I'm aiming for.
So what are you in politics for then, if you are not going to be aiming for the first position in the country?
I think it's not about positions. I'm in politics to try to save our country, because we really see it being ill-managed. We see corruption ravaging the country at every level of society, from the government even into the private sector.
You mean to tell us that the opposition is not corrupted in any way?
Well, I'm very confident to say that we are very much, there's very much less corruption going on in the states of Pakatan Rakyat.
So you're saying that if Pakatan Rakyat comes into power, corruption will be much, much less, is that right? But still there will be corruption.
We will definitely take measures to address corruption.
So you're saying that the current government under Najib's leadership has not taken any measures to curb corruption?
They've not taken enough measures, and they've not taken real measures. A lot of it is just a lot of hoo-ha, a lot of talk. They formed the MACC, which is not truly independent, and so on and so forth. I mean, we believe corruption is a very, very big problem in Malaysia. It affects everybody in every part of society.
Right.
And we will definitely take real measures to address corruption.
Who will be the first person, and who is the most corrupted person in Malaysia, in your terms, that if you all get into power, there's the first person you will be locking up?
I think the list is too long.
Who's the one person in your mind that you would definitely ensure that the person is locked up? Since you, I mean, opposition always says there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of corrupted people, but I don't ever hear names of corrupted leaders.
But we also believe in justice and an injustice system. We won't just lock someone up just because we think they're corrupt.
So who are those
we
people that we believe that they're corrupted? That's why we say there's corruption. Obviously, we are thinking there are people that are corrupted. If not, we wouldn't be saying that it's a corrupted country.
Well, I think there are certain leaders in the Barisan Nasional who we see are living, you know, to put it mildly, beyond their means.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they would be the first few people to check.
So subject to be proven.
Yes.
Okay. What do you say to perhaps people even in UMNO who would think that you are a traitor to join DAP and not UMNO?
I actually think that, you know, my struggle, our struggle today in the opposition, is very similar to the struggle of the founding fathers of our country. I actually see that I am true to the struggle. And I think today's UMNO, today's Barisan Nasional, they are the ones who have gone off tangent. And I think they are the ones who have betrayed the country.
Tanda Putra comes out next week, end of the month, 29, right before Merdeka. Do you think that's going to create and stir another May 13 to happen?
Well, I'm a believer in freedom of speech, freedom of expression. It is, of course, their right to interpret events their way if they want to turn into a film. I believe that's fine. Let people judge for themselves. So I've got no problems with a film. But of course, we do have...
if there's no problem, why did Guan Yin call it a racist film? I mean, if we're talking about free media independence and everyone's in their own way of interpretation, why did Guan Yin call it a racist
absolutely,
film?
Because I think at the beginning when there was a trailer shown and then there was a Facebook page, there were snapshots from the screenshots from the movie which depicted events that did not happen. I mean, they're basically lies. For example, accusing Lim Kit Siang of peeing on the Malaysian flag or something like that.
So wouldn't it be called for sedition then? If like, but then you are encouraging that you encourage free media, inciting hatred.
Well, of course, the freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and freedom of media does not give you the freedom to basically commit libel or slander. Yeah,
so that's what they're doing. That's what you're saying, right? In the movie itself.
That was what appeared in the trailer, or I think in the screenshots on Facebook. I'm not even sure it was in the trailer. So it remains to be seen. Of course, if it comes out and the movie does not contain any of these scenes, then it's fine. But if it does, then obviously there's cause for objection or action. But until I've seen the movie myself, I can't really tell.
Will you be watching it next week then? On the
Are you looking
29th of
forward?
this month?
I don't know, my schedule is quite busy. I've not been watching many movies.
Okay.
We'll see how.
We've just got about a couple of minutes more. As the son of the former education minister of Malaysia, you did say or suggest that the education department should be a separate entity from the education ministry. Yeah? Would you like to reiterate on that, and what is the basis of saying this?
Well, basically, that was an idea. But basically, I think the main theme is to depoliticize education. I think the whole trouble with the Malaysian education system is that there's too much politics involved. And you see a lot of arbitrary decisions being made simply because politicians think that it's very convenient for the next few years, but they're not thinking long term. So for example, when PPSMI was introduced, and then after that taken back, these are examples of arbitrary decisions. And I think these decisions are made because politicians are making them. I think we should honestly have some kind of detachment between politics and education, so that we can let education experts, people who are real stakeholders in education, to decide on some of these very important issues that affect all our children.
That's right. Is this your personal opinion, or is this something that Pakatan would want to implement if they come into power?
This is my personal opinion.
How do the rest feel? The other leaders in the opposition
I think
feel?
within Pakatan, there is a lot of consensus in that direction, in the sense that there's too much politicking in education, and it would definitely be good if the education system has definitely less political influence.
The three parties just coming together, PKR, PAS and DAP, just to work together, just to get rid of Barisan Nasional, so that when they empower, and they'll have their whole new set of problems itself. Would you foresee that there's going to be even bigger problems when these three totally convenient, according to Barisan Nasional, parties coming together just to remove them?
Well, if you're asking me whether Pakatan Rakyat is a marriage of convenience, I would say not really, in the sense that we do have actual goals. We do really agree when we sit down, we discuss, we do agree on very broad goals on democracy, on the economy. Sure, there are some differences, there are always differences. But I think the main objectives are there. We want Malaysia to be free, we want Malaysia to be a country, a government that respects the people, an economy that works for the people. We want to make sure the poor, the bottom 40% are taken care of. All three parties agree on this. There is not a problem.
You being a Malay yourself, the NEM, the new economic model, or the previous new economic policy, are you for it, are you against it, and should it still be here, or should it be abolished once and for all?
I think Pakatan Rakyat's stand on this is very clear. We are talking about, we're not saying remove affirmative action, we're not saying remove helping those that are disadvantaged. We are saying help those who really need to be helped.
What about the privileges, special privileges?
I think in terms of whatever is constitutionally defined, special position of the Malays, the Malay language, Islam, none of that is questioned at all. Not by DAP, not by PKR, not by PAS. It's not an issue.
So it's accepted?
We affirm everything in the Constitution, in the spirit of 1957.
Because we feel the Malaysians out there are actually getting probably a bit super sensitive on certain issues, especially,
That I feel
racial and
that is
religious.
true, but it also has to do
Of late.
with the media fanning it, and also has to do with irresponsible politicians making statements that make the situation worse.
Does that include also our statements from the opposition? Because that
Well,
was also pointed out.
I think in such issues, both sides are equal. Both sides also have a part to play.
And to be blamed?
Definitely, why not? Yeah, both sides. I feel we should talk less about racial. I think we can also de-racialize our politics and our rhetoric. It'll just help the whole country.
Okay.
And as far as you're concerned, who would be the best choice, your opinion, to be the Prime Minister? I know Pakatan has appointed or has agreed that Dato Sri Anwar should be the one. In your opinion, who should it be if Dato Anwar, something happens to him and he's not going to be around? Who will be the next best choice?
I think we'll only decide on that if he's no longer around. For now, the choice is clear.
No, it's your opinion. I'm just asking, in your opinion,
Who do you feel
should be? I'm sure there is, in time to come, it's like a program answer that all politicians come to a show, they answer the same thing. In time to come, but in your opinion, who do you feel should be, in your mind as a citizen of Malaysia, would like to lead the country? Because you want to save the country, you got to have a right leader, right? So who do you think?
I think the individual is not so much the point. I think whoever it is, whoever the leader would be, would have to be someone who is honest, who has integrity, who is non-racial in that sense.
So Datuk Seri Najib, honest, has integrity, and
non-racial?
Well, I think based on some of his track record, his performance as Prime Minister in the last 4 years, I think his performance leaves still quite a bit to be desired. I don't think he has lived up to his expectations.
So is it no?
We can do much more. No, I think we can do much more, much better than Datuk Seri Najib.
And who's that person that you still feel?
Well, I feel it's Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim.
Okay.
Still Anwar Ibrahim. Okay. All right, we need to wrap up the show. Perhaps any final words on this show from you, YB? To all Malaysians out there.
Well, I suppose I'm in this struggle because I believe that one day we will see a Malaysia, maybe 10, 15 years from now, that is not as sensitive as it is today, that is definitely less polarized, that is definitely less racial, and even less political. I know I'm a politician, but I feel, there is a bit too much politics sometimes.
Especially in the social media, right?
You should just remove politicians and get the job done and do real work, right?
Well, maybe.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, YB. And that was YB ZAIRIL KHIR Johari, all the way from Pulau Pinang. Of course, he's the Member of Parliament for Bukit Bendera. He's been on Face Off. And thank you so much. We strive for a better Malaysia. Bye-bye. We'll see you again.